Chapter 38 of Officer 666. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Roger Moline. Officer 666 by Barton W. Currie and Augustin McHugh. Chapter 38. Kearny Meets His Match. There was no turning Whitney Barnes away with a soft answer. His appeals for admission were rising to a strident pitch when his friend opened the door and yanked him in. "Have you seen him?" demanded Barnes, looking about wildly. "No," Gladwin returned. "I think he escaped." "Oh, I don't mean the robber Johnny," complained Barnes, shaking out his handcuffed wrists. "I mean the damned idiot who locked these things on me." "He's searching the house," said Gladwin, smiling at his friend's tragic earnestness. Detective Kearny came into the room alert as a race horse. "We've been through the house from cellar to roof," he spat out while his eyes searched every corner of the room. "I say, look here," said Barnes. "Can you unlock me?" "No." Kearny would not even look at him. "Confound it, somebody ought to unlock me," exclaimed the frantic Barnes. "This is the most annoying position I was ever in my life. My valet even couldn't undress me with these things on." "What's out that way?" asked Kearny, pointing to the panel door that opened upon the backstairs hallway. "Kitchen," said Gladwin, going to the door and opening it. "Oh, yes," said Kearny. "The captain's back there?" "But look here, detective," cried Barnes again. "Who was that inordinate ass who locked me up?" "Ryan," said Kearny, freezing a smile as it formed on his lips. "Where is he?" "On the roof." "What the deuce is he doing on the roof?" "Searching it." "Well," stormed Barnes, "I'll go up there, and if he don't unlock me I'll push him off." He dashed out of the room and up the stairs. "Funny thing where that man got to, Mr. Gladwin," mused the Central Office man, with a keen glance from under his heavy eyebrows. "Yes, those chaps are clever, aren't they?" returned the young man with affected unconcern. "I suppose he's miles away by this time." "I don't think he's gone very far," rejoined Kearny, his voice bristling with suspicion. "He couldn't have got away without the men outside seeing him. We've got the block surrounded now. He's here in this house, Mr. Gladwin. I guess you know that." "I don't know anything of the kind," Gladwin denied, with a trifle too much emphasis. A policeman appeared in the doorway and Kearny called to him, "Ryan, I thought you were on the roof." "Sergeant Burke sent me down," responded Ryan. "We've got the roofs covered both way." "Did you see the man you put the bracelets on?" asked Kearny. "No," replied Ryan, "but I heard a lot of noise going up one of the back stairways." "You better go and find him," urged Travers Gladwin. "He's in an awful state." "No," countermanded Kearny. "Never mind him now." "But you're wasting time here," persisted Gladwin. "I can look after this room." "Oh, no, you can't," Kearny flashed back. "Why not?" "Because you're under arrest. I was after you when I happened to find the other fellow. I haven't any idea you'll try and escape, Mr. Gladwin, but a warrant is a warrant, and duty's duty." "But that warrant wasn't meant for me." "No?" Kearny's eyes widened with surprise. "Was the girl running off with that crook?" he asked quickly. "No," Gladwin corrected, realizing his break. "Then you better go along with Ryan. Ryan, you take him upstairs and sit by him till I send for you." "See here," the young man began to sputter as the giant Ryan seized him and walked him on air out of the room and up the stairs. Kearny went to the folding doors and shut them. "He's in this room somewhere," muttered the detective, going to the portières that curtained the window leading out to the balcony. He was almost touching Wilson when the latter suddenly enveloped him in the portière he had wrapped around himself and hurled the big detective to the floor. As Kearny was untangling himself, Wilson darted between the portières, glanced out the window, and saw that a leap from the balcony would land him in the arms of 3 patrolmen. He shook open the window and then shrank back into the far corner of the embrasure. Kearny was on his feet again and sprang out to the balcony. "He came out this way," he yelled to the men below. "Did he jump off?" Kearny darted back into the room, looked everywhere, ran to the folding doors and flung them open. Then he looked back at the panel door, noticed that it was ajar, and dived for it. "He's hiding somewhere in this black alley," he said with an oath, and disappeared. A moment later Wilson peeked out and re-entered the room. He had scarcely left his place of concealment when Officer No. 666 burst in. "Oh, there you are, Mr. Gladwin," said Phelan, with a lovely grin. "Yes, I'm here," nodded Wilson. "I just come back with another bunch of cops," said Phelan. "But I hear the crook got away. He's a smooth snake for you." "No, I think he's still in the house," laughed Wilson. "And I'd like to have you get the credit of catching him, Phelan. You go outside and report to the captain, then come back here. Maybe I can help you find him." "Thank you, sir," said Phelan, obeying the suggestion. "Here comes another one," breathed the thief, hearing a heavy tread and crossing the room to the big ornamental fireplace, which had never known a spark or speck of soot. There was a mammoth opening in the chimney, and Wilson vanished up it as Kearny plunged back into the room. As the detective entered through the panel door, Watkins, in full chauffeur regalia, appeared from the hallway. "Well, who sent you?" Kearny pounced on him. "I don't know," Watkins returned. "Some man, Gladwin, I think is the name. I was sent here for a lady." "Well, you sit out in the hall and wait," snapped Kearny, who again proceeded to explore the room, muttering and cursing. The voice of Travers Gladwin in heated argument upstairs with Officer Ryan became audible. "I'll settle that fresh kid," Kearny ejaculated, and made a break for the stairs. His departure was Wilson's cue to let himself down from the chimney. He signaled Watkins, who was sitting in the hall. Watkins glided in. "By George!" exclaimed Wilson. "We are going it some in here. You certainly are taking big chances butting in. I didn't think you had the nerve. It's 100 to 1 against me, but I've beaten bigger odds than that. You get up that chimney, and I'll plant myself in the chest. Quick, they're coming down again." Watkins went up the chimney with the sinuous speed of a snake, and the picture expert went into the chest with the agility of a wolf spider ducking into its trap. They were coming from all directions this time, Gladwin down the stairs, about 14 jumps ahead of Kearny, proclaiming that he would telephone his lawyer and that he could put up $5 million in bonds for bail if need be. Phelan was coming through the front door, and Captain Stone through the hallway from the kitchen. Glimpsing Gladwin, Phelan made a flying dive for him, yelling, "I got him! I got him!" They rolled on the floor in a heap. "Have you got him, Phelan?" cried Captain Stone, rushing through the room and into the hallway. "I have, sir," responded Phelan, proudly, getting to his feet and pulling up his captive. "What the devil's this?" bawled Captain Stone, recognizing Gladwin. "The thief, sir," responded Phelan. "The thief, hell! That's Mr. Gladwin." "What?" stuttered Phelan. Once again he entered into a condition of complete mental paralysis. "Has he hurt you, sir?" asked the captain, solicitously, noting that Gladwin's face was writhing. "Nothing mortal," winced the young man. "What's the matter with you, Phelan?" The captain jumped on him. "Have you been drunk today?" "No, sir," gurgled Phelan. "Don't try to stop me, officer. I've come for my niece," crashed the shrill voice of Mrs. Elvira Burton. She had seized a dramatic moment for her re-entry. Chapter 38. Recording by Roger Moline.